Australian Open Final. Tactical war will determine whether Medvedev denies Nadal's historic challenge. It is almost 3 years since Boris Becker made a passionate call to arms to the underperforming younger generation, many of whom were seemingly still enthralled to the big three of Roger Federer, Rafael Nadal, and Novak Djokovic. "Show up and give me something I want to talk about," urged the German, who famously won Wimbledon at the age of 17 in 1985. Daniil Medvedev has most certainly risen to that challenge. Not only are the 25-year-old's cheeky antics a regular topic of discussion, but his level of play has earned him a supporting role of significance in the historic race to finish as the greatest male player of all time. 4 months after spoiling Djokovic's bid for a record 21st Grand Slam men's singles title at the US Open, he now bids to inflict the same outcome on Nadal at the Australian Open. Quite frankly, Medvedev is the disruptor that the sport needed. For too long, players had bowed in admiration to Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic, often beaten before they walked onto the court. The Russian, on the other hand, revels as the pantomime villain, unafraid to wind up opponents, officials, and even spectators. "You guys being against me gave me so much energy to win," Medvedev told thousands of booing New Yorkers after a fourth-round win at the 2019 US Open. 2 days earlier, he had given them the middle finger in full view of the television cameras. Some suggested back then that Medvedev would have to tone down his behavior to reach the top of the sport, but there were no signs of any mellowing during his semi-final on Friday when he unleashed a furious rant at the umpire Jaume Campistol. Though it cost Medvedev a fine of £9,000, it also fired him up, and he now finds himself one win from guaranteeing that he becomes the new world #1 on February 21st. "We don't fight with the fists, but tennis is a fight," Medvedev said. "It's a one-on-one against another player, so I'm actually really respectful to players who almost never show their emotions because it's tough. I can get really emotional. I have been working on it, but it helps me to win matches." Medvedev's personality is a stark contrast to Nadal's. Remarkably, the Spaniard has never once broken a racket during a competitive match, and it is also hard to imagine him ever making rude gestures towards the crowd. "We know how Rafa's mentality in life is like," Medvedev said. "He's like a perfect guy. I know many of my friends who break controllers who don't even play tennis. But people can get mad at many things, and I feel like Rafa is amazing for this." Ultimately though, no matter how Medvedev behaves on the court here, it is the tactical battle that will decide the winner. Medvedev will try to exploit the angles and open up the court for winners off his flat, low-bouncing ground strokes, while Nadal will seek to extend the points from the baseline and slowly break down his opponent's game. It will be an absolute monster marathon and physical match where both players are going to figure out a way to get out of the any holes they will fall into, Mats Wilander, the former world #1 and Eurosport pundit, said. "The question will be, who falls into the hole when the match reaches the 4th hour? I cannot say who I think is going to win because I don't know. It's at night, the ball doesn't bounce as high, so Medvedev can stand in his backhand corner and play against Nadal's forehand and not get that hurt badly, and he gets more free points on serve than Rafa. Those points might be enough for him to get over the finish line. I can also see another scenario where Rafa is just scratching the surface of what he can actually do on a tennis court. If he can come out and play like he did in the first 2 sets, then I don't know if Medvedev can hang with him. Even if Nadal cannot break the tie in Grand Slam titles with Federer and Djokovic this time, his efforts here in reaching the final will surely give him confidence that he can do it at his beloved French Open in 4 months' time. After being ridden off time and time again because of various injuries throughout this career, most recently a flare-up of a chronic foot injury in the second half of last season, he clearly still has much to offer at the age of 35. To be in a final of a Grand Slam after everything he has been through since Roland Garros is just amazing, Alex Corretja, the former world #2 and friend of Nadal, said. "It's going to be a big battle. It's going to be very difficult to win one more major, but he is ready. I think he proved again that it doesn't really matter what people think from the outside, the only thing that matters is what he feels inside. This is the key for his tennis career."